Going to analyze the movie Margin Code. So we decided to choose this movie. It's an American movie which depicts a night, more precisely 36 hours in a bank and investment in 2008, before the huge crisis. They understand the magnitude of the situation with the discovery of one of the traders of the film of toxic assets. So it is an inspiration of the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers in 2008. In this movie, there are several ethical situations. We are going to analyze several strategies and theories in this movie.
Before seeing the utilitarianism theory, virtue ethics, and deontological theory, then we are going to analyze an analysis of the behavior of the characters. Then in a fourth time, the learning points, and finally an open question with conclusion.
We decided to analyze a scene with Sam Rogers because he explained to his employees that they are going to sell toxic assets to their customers and family and friends. So from the opening of the Wall Street in the morning, and which caused an unprecedented financial crisis. So it represents an ethical situation because Rogers make a decision by telling to the members of the film that to do their job and asking them to lie to everybody in order to save the company. So he had a dilemma and he chose to save himself. So he wants to make as much profit as possible, and he has to choose between telling the truth and lying to everybody, and he chooses to lie and to cheat. So they think of themselves. So, he takes a decision. This decision has a lot of consequences on the market and for the company. So he's going to betray the customers who trust the company. So first we are going to talk about the Stoltenberg theory. So we can see in this movie and in this scene the pessimist view of human nature because they are all self-interested. So here we can see that the managers are self-interested. As regarded to Milton Friedman approach, we can recognize his point of view with the egoism of all the members and especially the headquarters of the company. The firm is failing, that's why they want to make as much profit as possible in order to save the bank and investment and have the low loss. Sam Rogers asked his trader to sell toxic assets. Focus on short-term performance because they don't care about the huge crisis that is going to happen. So we can see that is irresponsible behavior. When the calls begin, there is no more hesitation, and they have one aim: earn money and do some profits. So the directors don't want to bring value to customers, but he promised big amount of money to the traders in order to have no revolt. And however, about the Stoltenberg approach by Edward Friedman, we can see that this theory is not relevant here because in this extract, when Sam Rogers explained to his employee to sell toxic assets, then he wants to leave the company because he doesn't assume his act.
Approach. A virtue person is someone who finds a just middle between two characteristics. The value of bravery, for example, is doing nothing. Is the middle between doing nothing because of fear and be too temeraire. Here, Robert is misbehavior to be virtuous. In fact, he don't respect his value. But in the scene before, he explains that he hides this to his boss, Sam. He stays polite and clearly. He accepts the orders of his boss at the end, but before that, he explained clearly his point of view. He have tried to convince him. In this scene, he have a virtue behavior in front of the authority. In this sense, the traders don't have a virtue behavior. because they don't express their values and their ideas. They just accept the money and the orders. Will, it's another character. Don't have a virtue too, because he doesn't say anything. But worse than that, he seems to be feel any remorse for what they will do.
Deontological approach. It focuses on the rightness and the wrongness of the action leaded. So the action led by the company treats buyers as mean in order to protect the firm's assets. So according to Kant, this action is morally wrong. According to Rogers, selling the toxic assets is a moral dilemma because it's right to protect the company he works for, and it's also right to protect the buyers, but he has to make a choice. It's here the deontological approach. So it's also an ethical dilemma because Rogers had to choose which value he was the most important for him. So to be faithful to his company, or to assume the consequences instead of the buyers.
Realism theory, but this theory doesn't fix a lot to the scene we choose and to the movie in general, because the theory is about making a choice that will be better for the actually some choose to involve all the employees of the company in doing something that will seriously cost to millions of people and which will have big consequences. This choice has only positive points for him or for the employees because he will get a lot of money and the employees too. Actually, it is all the contrary for the other people. So the decision that took Sam and all the employees is very...
Sam Rogers, who speak in front of the traders, make a deliberation process, make a reflection before his decision, but he's a follower of his boss and he's not responsive, he don't respect his values. The traders and praise our program. They just think to their condition, and they don't think to all the bad they will done. What should you do in this situation? All the group have made an agreement. If we can be the manager, we will respect our value and don't ask to the traders to sell toxic assets, and we will take our one decision. And if we can be the traders, we decided to accept our condition and just do the job because we don't have the power to change the things.
The learning points. So we divided into two steps. What you should be careful. We notice the importance of egoism in the career. Notice also that people are ready to lie and to do everything in order to make profit and to achieve to their goals and to save their interests. And they don't care about the consequences and acts that they are doing. And there is a problem of blackmailing. For what you should do in this situation, you better do a job in a corporation according to your values, and of course limit the acts of depending on. Limits and the limit of your acts depending on your value.
What this movie suggested? So it suggested to what extent people are capable to cheat. Then one to count is the only one to count. And is it possible to work in a corporation with opposite values? In conclusion, a pessimist view of human nature and self-interest, that like we saw in stockholder theory. According to virtue ethics, the virtuosity is the just middle between two characteristics. Deontological theory permits to choose to lead an action by focusing on the rightness or the wrongness. Then a scene that makes us realize how far can go human behaviors. And finally, it makes us think about what could be the ethic behavior in this